So, we join back in with our adventurers. After last week, the group had delved further into the caverns under the catacombs, finding more corruption and putting Glante to work, clearing away all of the signs of infection, and discovering a few things that have piqued the group's interest. Maybe some signs that this this cavern and this cave has been here a lot longer, and maybe even before the city of Cadfessi was built atop it. Before Ichi saw visions of a dark-haired, tall-figured, almost elven-like woman, experimenting and studying and spending lots of time researching Zikar and this and what seemed to be pieces of maybe corruption before the vision ended and the group have pulled back to rest. We join them now, as you would probably be woken at first by the movement of the guards that have sort of been rotating out watches. More out of habit than necessity. You know, even if any of you sort of did stir and offer to watch, they say you can, but there's been no sign of anything, and it would be the same for all of you, as it's just eerily quiet down here. Even almost the sounds of the natural sounds of dripping and echoes that you would naturally get in a cavern like this seem dulled and dampened in this area. As you wake, you'll be able to get some rations, get prepared. You can see the you will notice that the 4 of the guards are just sort of here getting ready, and Anya, the scout, isn't there when you first wake up, but comes back from the next room on, the pillar room. Before just saying, all seems quiet. I sat at the other end of the corridor, and I think we're alone down here, besides whatever the corruption is.
I think we're alone now.
They would sort of say to Eleni, did you rest well? Are you ready for today?
I am, thank you. I think we should make sure we have some proper breakfast before we go anywhere, though. It could be another long day, and we don't know where we're going to end up.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea to me.
They nod and they will head over towards where their rations are and their baggers, because obviously when they're scouting, they're not carrying things. And people will generally, like, they're much less sat in definitive groups. And you know, people are just sort of sat around putting the final bits of armor on, such as, you know, cleaning swords and stuff, and just making sure the equipment's ready to go. Is there anything anybody particularly wants to do other than chow down and get ready for the day? Anything to cast or prepare? Like, I assume, Dante, are you going to light up a weapon ahead of time, or do you want to? You haven't come across anything aggressive yet down here, but as you said before, you might just, it doesn't hurt to.
I mean, it does hurt, but
it literally hurts. It figuratively doesn't hurt.
So yeah, I'll light up my sword.
Okay, do you D4?
It's D6, I think.
Is it a D6 now? No, I thought it was, unless it's upped, it's normally a D4.
I'm sure it was always a D6. If it hasn't been, I have been literally just giving myself extra damage every time.
I think we've done this before, honestly. I'm having deja vu, like I've edited this moment before.
No, no, that should be blood maledicts, D6.
Oh, the thing where he harms himself is always a D6.
Yeah, it's always a D6.
Oh, no. I thought it was, yeah, genuinely, that's my bad. Anyway, but yeah, roll your D6.
Doopy 2. Is it coming up on me or not? No, it's not.
No, but that's fine.
It's cool.
I clicked on features and traits and sort of lined it up with beyond 20.
Yeah, I'll do that now. But reload this page to apply your updated settings. Cool. Either way, 2 points damage. My sword is now on fire. While I'm at it, I might as well just do my other right as well, just on my bow. So that'd be my thunder on that one.
Okay.
So just gonna do it for that.
Okay. Anything for Volu or Eleni particularly? It's one of those again where I think for Eleni maybe the being out on mission or out on a hunt or all that, that's actually the time that you kind of get to chill a little bit, almost in the like being this removed from. It would be almost like very obvious if some random dude from Yixon turned up in down here, you know. But
I think it's even just that there's less people, right? She recognises all the people here. They all have specific reasons for being here. It's not like being in a city surrounded by strangers. So, yeah, she probably is a little bit more relaxed than normal.
And Volu, anything to cast or prepare, or is it just eating and prepping?
What rations have we got?
Just the usual rations, I think. I don't know if you brought sausages or not.
No, they're probably still with Woofers, to be fair. And there's no remnant. Yeah, say there's no leaves down here. There's no remnants of the infection. So
Not where you currently are.
no. No, I'd just kind of be slowly making the ration last. Otherwise, I'd be eating 2 or 3 rations. So I'm learning to contain myself for the good of the cause.
Okay. Okay, yeah, so in which case, eventually, that was named Captain Harkin. I want to say Harkin, but I don't think is that right?
It was Harker.
Harker. Captain Harker will sort of say to his group, prepare to move out, I will see, and then sort of turn to you guys and say, when do we want to make moves? And I feel like we should denote to you to guide our positioning while in fights we are useful. So far we have not seen much we can help with. He's almost like, instead of all of them being up front and leading it, do you want to scatter them around with you so you can move around a bit? Like every room has required investigation and stuff, and it's sort of like they've gone in and then it's been like, okay, we'll stand here while you guys investigate.
Have we been doing Operation Door?
We have.
But there's
been,
no door.
There's no doors. This is all
not been
just
any door.
corridors.
It's just corridor to corridor to corridor. It's like you almost entering weird rooms that don't make sense to be in the middle of this stone corridor.
To be honest, though, Liam, I mean, I was assuming that I know they sort of stood around, but they should still be on alert.
I mean, still on alert, but they're almost in the idea. Do you want them to be more like assigned to one of you, or follow you around? Do you want them to stand guard and almost they're giving you the permission to just dictate their formation as it helps you guys?
I mean, it'd be good to have at least one of them with us. I think I've been with the Anya Archer girl, haven't I, a lot of the time? So I think that's useful to have them. But I think we also need to have people watching behind us, keeping an eye on the corridors.
No, they say we could do 2 at the front, 2 at the back, and Anya in the centre with yourself.
Sounds good.
Or if you and Anya are going to forward scouts, maybe me and Corporal will take the centre.
Either one of those is fine for me. Dante, I don't know if you've got a preference.
Makes sense for me to be near the front, just to burn away any infection.
That sounds good to me.
But I think let's just keep going. Let's just keep moving. Is there anything that Ichi wants to do following his vision or following the stuff that he saw? Is that all?
I
Is he
mean,
finished with that, or is?
he's made notes of it all and he's still pondering it, but he hasn't had anything further. He hasn't seen anything further. Obviously he'd be saying, let's keep an eye out for more items or objects, and he would have at last night probably and during the camp given you all the chance to sort of look at the almost like weird compass spiky object, although Ichi would sort of say he thinks it's like collapsed in, maybe like when it activates, maybe it looks very mechanical. And
Does it happen? Does anything happen if any of us like hold it?
no.
Can I do an intelligence investigation on it?
So you sort of helped with it with Ichi in terms of last time, but essentially you've determined that you think this is like relic like item, but Ichi also seems to think it's almost like locked behind a password. Like you need to or some sort of action or trigger to make it activate. Obviously there's the researchers and if you can get it back to the universe, they can legend lore it and stuff like that. But down here, limited, other than finding other objects that might hint to its, or writings or whatever that might hint to its use. He would also point out, interesting that there is the mix of real life and corruption like spaces. Like, yes, the corruption is copying something, but there was space and stuff here before that.
But it was trying to replicate, wasn't it, almost what was around it?
Well, not in every case. Well, it didn't seem so, unless there was a forest this far underground before. That one seemed confused, like mixed.
That one where we cleared everything around the arch. Am I right in remembering that still had like a sort of a portal kind of thing, but when you put your hand through it, went straight through and out the other side? It didn't go.
So there was it was just an archway and looked like it could be a portal, but it was just like.
Oh, I thought there was like a sort of a shimmery something or other there.
No, so the shimmery something was like almost a film being created by the corruption that, when cleared away, just showed it was like a dead portal as opposed to.
Right, now that makes sense. I thought the shimmer was still there, but your hand went straight through. That was
No.
Yeah. Okay.
One thing I want to do if we are pressing forward is I want to drop into stealth, and I'd recommend potentially other people doing it, just in case. Just because we haven't found something yet doesn't mean that we're not going to find something in the next room.
I know if we did stealth properly before.
I was going to say Ichi's going to avoid it because the last time he tripped over a cup and basically alerted, and the guards are struggling to stealth in their armor. But that doesn't. I'm not saying don't stealth, because it means that if somebody comes upon the group, they might just miss the people who are stealthing, right? And just see, oh, there's a guard unit down here, and not see. It might give you a second if you need it, whatever. But they are, other than Anya, who's doing quite well. The guards are struggling to keep stealthy every time. I am rolling. It is based on dice, but I'll
more people, more chance to.
Yeah, absolutely makes all sense.
But anyone who wants to do one, and I'll note it for if you come across anything.
Well, if Dante's up front, it kind of if he stealths, then he can be a little bit further forward.
And Anya will just straight away nod and follow suit, she's not concerned. But you guys are almost up in the front a little bit.
I will roll a stealth, but I'm going to say it's not that I'm trying to be completely silent. It's again that I'm just being careful about where I stand and how I move.
Yeah.
It's more of a trying to be unobtrusive than trying to be completely unnoticeable.
For some reason, beyond 20 is just not working for me, period. So I'm just going to see if I can just roll these things.
Yeah, don't worry.
Yes.
It's working for me, okay. Well, it's not, because I only got a 10, but it rolled.
30, 20.
Let me. It's my stealth. I can't remember. 2. 21.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
I'm also going to just have my mage hand out. It's invisible anyways.
Okay.
And I'm just going to have that floating at all points 30 feet ahead of me.
Okay. So obviously, as we go forwards, the people that are just staggered behind you, you're almost getting the view seconds later, obviously. But and Vola, are you planning to stay back as you were last time, sort of with each in the guards, or are you actually wanting to join the front group, or even be a midpoint between them?
Midpoint.
Okay. Almost like able to message back and forwards if needed and such.
We've just got 4 stealths off Dante in roll 20.
This bullshit.
And they're all way better than mine.
The only one I've actually seen in D&D Beyond is just the dirty 20.
Oh no, we're not
Done.
seeing that. We've got 17, 15, 22 and 24.
Of course. Why not? Like...
As you're moving forward through the cavern, Dante, you're clearing the veins. And again, Dante, if you imagine back when you were down in the underground area and it was almost like the walls, floor, ceiling, everything was like covered, this seems more like veins that are stretching outwards that then around the veins and almost in branches off the veins have started to corrupt. But from what you've seen, you're actually, Dante, thinking that it's like the corridors aren't as covered because the rooms are like so dedicated to it, right? Like it was creating a forest in that first room. So it's almost giving all energy to the room and the memory or whatever it's trying to do, and doing bare minimum to connect the corridors, if that makes sense. So you're not having to like really 5-foot labor your way through it, sort of like a hand or sword on the ceiling and just run it down, and it almost follows the trail, and then you might have to do another one on this wall at the same time. But it's almost like almost for Dante sort of gives you, it looks like veins of ore in the rock if you didn't know it was, like it looks like a purple vein if you didn't know it was a piece of corruption, if that makes sense.
Ian, wasn't there something last time as well about Zikar, about unprocessed Zikar?
That's in the area where it seemed that someone had been mining and experimenting with it,
right?
And there were still sort of crumblings of raw.
Okay, sorry, it just came to my mind then.
No, yeah. The passage opens up into a almost, but obviously still natural looking rectangular room. So it's almost got the curved corners, and it's not a perfect symmetrical rectangle, but roughly maybe 40 feet wide by 70-ish feet long. As at the further end, as the first 3 of you approach, and there's almost that natural stop and like listen, look in, and as you take a look around, Dante and Eleni, do you want to give me perceptions as you hit this point? This is probably one of the larger chambers you've seen, other than the pillar room. 9.
Did anything come up?
No.
No.
It's having a matter.
I've even refreshed my screens and.
Did it roll for you on D&D Beyond? Oh wait, 3.
Oh, there you go, 3.
Okay, so
That sounds about right.
but as you're looking in, you can for Dante and Eleni, the room seems just smaller than the pillar room. but one of the larger rooms that you've sort of seen in the cavern space. But interestingly, not as high a ceiling, whereas the others seem like 20 foot up. It's like the ceiling doesn't raise from the corridor level. So it's like 5 foot up ceiling. It's like a very like, and as you're sort of looking in for you to, it almost feels like it's really emphasizing you're underground. There's like the ceiling there, and you don't have to duck down. Maybe Eleni, your hair's brushing the occasional sticking out bit, but it's not like a full duck down.
Yeah.
But it's different than the rooms you've been in that seem to have spread out. As that's all you two seem to notice, but as you like, I probably imagine Dante probably goes to take a step, just to follow the vein and continue burning almost. And for Dante, the air feels weird. There's like, for a second, it feels the resistance like you're stepping into water. As Anya would put a hand on your shoulder, and it's almost you're realizing it, feeling the foot enter as she puts a hand on your shoulder. There's something weird here. She sort of gently pulls back, but will take hand off your shoulder, like she's not trying to like grip you for too long. But she sort of tries to like lean in.
I take the dodge action.
It feels weird, but seems okay. They take another sort of lean in. They take a look around, and you can sort of see. Unfortunately for you guys, the rolls aren't high enough to sort of perceive past. And this room, to be clear, sorry, it doesn't have like a corruption scene in the middle of the room. It's clearly just a cavern. But as you sort of look in, the walls are just floor to ceiling corruption. And like back when you were underground, where it was like the wall on top is corrupt, like oozing this corruption.
Can I, Liam? So I've heard people say the air feels weird. Can I just shoot an arrow into the middle of the room, just from where we are?
There was me kind of going with all this intense thing, and then this little silent thing crawls up my leg, scares the crap out of me.
But yeah, can I just? I don't know if you want me to roll or not, but can I just sort of shoot an arrow in, just to see if the air is thicker or if it's an illusion, or I'm just trying to.
And I like the test. And as and then it goes to the floor, but it's slow sink. And again, didn't work exactly like underwater. Like if it was underwater, it wouldn't, like the wood would have had buoyancy. It doesn't have buoyancy, if that makes sense. It's not pulling the arrow up.
Was it like the arrow was slowed down, or was it just it was thicker to go through?
It's like it hit like a molasses air. Like it slowed drastically and then drifted to like, and again, it floated to the bottom of the floor cavern like it was underwater. But again, like for Eleni and thinking about, and for Dante thinking about it, if that was actually like, if it was an illusion of a room and actually that's water, the arrow would have floated because there's all the wood in it, or tilted in a way and acted as if it was under buoyancy. It didn't do that. It was just like almost like it was a feather instead of an arrow, as it sort of.
Is my mage hand still floating around?
Yeah. So, Vola, you've probably been running a constant, like, you'll stop if they're stopped. You're going to still keep that 20-foot gap, but you'll stop. So you'll have reached that point now where like they're there, they've not moved yet. They're sort of peering into a room. Just in case there's anything you want to message or do or sort of play forwards, the guys behind have stopped and are waiting for your cool, we're good to go. Anya's looking and she'll sort of say to both of you, there are markings, I think, on the wall. And I think there are alcoves hidden by the corruption. She's sort of trying to look at the edges of the, like, almost at the long walls. And for you to, unfortunately, with the perceptions as you're looking, maybe, but it's like there's weird shapes of bulbous corrupted bits, and you're not seeing sigils or carvings in any sort of way, but you may, Eleni with the 7, I think you can maybe pick out the alcoves where Anya sort of points and says, see the shadow there? And like there's almost like a little dip that if you imagine an alcove was filled to the brim with corruption,
Yeah.
it's that vibe. And there's just like a little dip in it, a recess almost.
So there's
Roll
obviously
anything.
some kind of magical effect on this cabin.
Yes, and I think we'd have to clear some of the corruption to get at it. The question is, what is the room? And as you sort of look as well, on the only clear exit is a almost, and at this distance, Eleni, and at first scan, was just almost like a black archway. But if you imagine the same stone that you've been seeing the same fake stone, corrupted stone you've been seeing all the way through, but it's like somebody took a fireball to it. Okay. And it's blackened as opposed to black rock, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And that's an archway on the far side. And that's the only clear exit that seems.
Well, maybe we need to try and get Dante to one of these alcoves and clear one, and then see what we're dealing with. But we're probably going to need somebody who can read these runes and things as well, if there are some more of those.
Can anyone read them?
I haven't been able to. Did Ichi read them before?
Did it look?
So Ichi's determined that some of them are. He's been able to determine like the arcane bits of them, if that makes sense. So it's like he's picking out, oh, this sigil can help, like is almost like a shield or an abjuration or whatever. He's doing that sort of thing, but actually reading the writing, no, he's not been able to do that. Anya will sort of look to both of you and say, shall we all enter, or shall we cover from directing as you wish? And she'll sort of get a bow ready and
I think let us stay here. Maybe let's send somebody in with you, Dante. Sort of look back, and we can cover. How far is the alcove from the entrance? The first one.
The first one seems maybe 20 feet. 30, because it's 20 foot up the wall, but you sort of, from where you are, you're going to have to head out at a diagonal, if that makes sense. You sort of 25 foot 30-ish that you sort of head in to get to that point on the wall directly.
So yeah, I would suggest we cover.
Okay. I think for Volu, Harkin would sort of call forward. Any news? Do we need to reinforce?
I will say, like, just wait here. Let me see if I can find out anything, because they seem to have stopped, and I'm not 100% sure why. And I'll walk over and just kind of survey the area to see what they're seeing before asking them what's going on.
Okay. You would see the scene in front. You can do me a perception to see if you can pick out anything extra.
11.
Okay, so I think as you look, you would notice the alcoves, the little recesses, but you don't notice any sort of markings or carvings. It does just look like a heavily corrupted walled room.
So these
you can see the others prepping bows to get ready. I assume, and tell me if I'm wrong, that Dante's going in and Eleni and Anya are going to cover, or am I wrong there?
I think so. You're saying they're just like little alcoves that I'm going into?
Well, so if you imagine, so it splits into a rectangular room.
Mm-hmm.
That's like 40-ish left and like 20 left, 20 right ish, and then 70 long. And along if you're at the long walls, there seems to be little alcoves. But if you imagine that the alcove has been filled with corruption to the point that it now looks like an almost just flat down straight wall.
Okay,
So Anya's pointed out the closest one, which again, with your roll, it does just look like a wall. But she's like, I think if you burn there, I think it should reveal itself, and she'll point directly at it.
So I'm going to pull a rope out of my bag, tie myself up to it, throw it over towards Eleni. If we need an additional rope, hopefully, presumably, we have access to an additional rope.
We do have extra rope.
Well, the first alcove is only 30ish away, so you're in first 50 should do it. If you need to add, like Eleni could add some more if you need to go
I'm
further.
happy to hold on to the rope as well, though, just in case.
Right.
But yeah.
Make sure it's taut. Don't make it touch the ground.
Okay.
I'm still stealthing, but I'm also, as I'm going to burn my way up to the alcove, and in particularly around the alcove itself, I am investigating for traps.
Okay. Got me an investigation.
Nice.
24.
Okay. So it's interesting. I always find it interesting when you don't perceive, but you manage to investigate. So if you imagine you have not been able to spot what Anya was looking at on the walls, but as you're sort of slowly moving forwards, you find about 15 foot in, if you imagine in the dip between two tile stones, like two of the flagstones, like magical circuitry.
I do not touch.
What it definitely says to you, though, however, and what I'll say is with that investigation, drop me an Arcana as well, just to see if you can determine. Doesn't look like a trap as such.
Anything that I've got advantage on?
No, sorry.
That jazz. Dirty 20. Intelligence, man. I see nothing but know everything.
You're rolling really well.
Well, I'm not. My perception was 3.
Yeah, but everything else has been above a 15.
You're doing quite well at the minute. So, still moving very carefully and stealth, and being quiet as well, holding that stealth from earlier. You haven't done anything to break it yet. So with that roll on the Arcana, you think. So if you imagine that there was like, if you had like, magical sconce, like this would be the like circuit that's running through the wall in the background. That means you could like that it's one cast that does everything, as opposed to having like multiple different lights that are on such. You think there is something magical in here that can activate, and you actually think it's left and right wall 15 foot in, based on if you're correct, and this circuit just left and rights along the floor, if that makes sense.
Can I follow the like magic wire, as it were? Does it go back towards the entrance we came in?
No. As you sort of like, I'm not going to say follow, but as you sort of follow the line, and almost just like if it keeps following this exact same line, it goes to the left and right wall, 15 foot in. So actually, even the alcove is further past whatever that is.
Mm-hmm. I'm wondering, part of me's with my Arcana roll.
Mm-hmm.
So this says this will trigger. It's effectively, could it be a light switch? Being like, magic spell comes off and sconces go poof, 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 poof.
So yes, it fully could. The only thing with that roll that's making you think it's not that is one, it's not corrupted. That's legitimately here. Right? That's not like a creation that the corruption is making and that you could burn away if you burned it, right?
Mhm.
But also, off the back of that, whenever you've come across these sort of magical effect items, you've come across light up shit on the wall before. You haven't seen this out in the open. Not at the level that you could just stumble across it. And
Dante. I'm sorry.
so, no. Well, for Dante, I would say the last thing I'm going to sort of give is it feels almost like it's supposed to be laid out to look like a trap, but a deterrent, like a trap you can see. Like you come to the gate and you see the axe swing are ready to swing and makes you think, okay, I'm not going to go in there.
Can I shout out to Dante as well and just say, how's the air out there? Is he moving more slowly? Is he being affected like the arrow was?
It does, so not as like drastically as the arrow. I think there's a level of like you've got your own self propulsion that can continually provide that movement, but it does feel. It's not harder to move mechanically. You are still able to move 30 feet. It's not slowed you, but it does feel weird and sort of
30 feet, please.
35 or 40, whatever you want now. But it does feel thicker. Almost like when you're in a incredibly hot car without the heat, but that feeling of like that stifling air that, you know, you can breathe, but do you want to? Like that vibe, is that sort of staleness to it.
I'm going to call back and just go, I can move. I found something on the floor.
What is it?
Some sort of magic. It's not corrupted, but it's like, might be a trap from this building. Like, if you can imagine two cannons facing you, it's like a deterrent. I don't know if it is a trap or if it is just, but I would guess that both of these run on each side of this hall. It runs down, and then I'm going to just gesture.
So Anya will call out, point to it as exact as you can. And as you do, she will sort of say, it's probably softer to Eleni before sort of confirming to Dante, almost like speaking out loud, thinking more than, that's where the largest carving area is. Dante, there is a large carving where you're pointing. It's covered by the corruption, but I can see it faintly.
You want me to continue?
To the alcove, yes, but not any further.
Yes, keep your eyes on that spot, though. That might be...
Repeating what I previously said, holding the dodge action. And hopefully people holding to pull me if needed.
Holding the
rope. So I will keep burning off towards this first alcove.
Okay.
Is my current investigation still valid, just for anything else?
What I'll say is up to the point you reach the alcove, because obviously then you basically meet a wall, and will only start to get more details when you start burning stuff away. So as you move up, there's pretty much all you're sort of getting now of the sounds in this room is the occasional hiss and sizzle of the corruption as you burn it away. And you step closer and closer towards the alcove, and you feel the air does, now that you've sort of, and for Dante, now that you've seen that line, when you stepped across it, maybe it's because they said something, but the air did grow a bit heavier. Your armor almost like felt like it tightened around your chest a little bit. Though still tied and the rope still taut, you feel, nothing affected by breathing, and eventually you make it, you're 30 feet in. And as I said, Dante, you sort of, if you imagine you're looking at like a red-purple wall, to you it just looks like a sludgy mess of a red sludge wall. And then as you get this close, if it like almost your passive investigation kicks in, and there's like a little corner of a brick sort of sticking out up at, like, if you imagine what would be the top of the alcove, you're almost seeing the overhang, that tiny little section of it. And you would be able to begin, there's smoke and hissing as the wall almost begins to blacken underneath as the corruption burns away. And for Dante,
I was going to say just one thing before doing it. I wanted to kind of like burn a circle around it first, like floor, wall, ceiling, just in case by the time I start doing this part, it's not going to suddenly send something shooting out through it. So it's kind of like isolating this and then burning it away.
Okay. As
Done something really clever, or just shot myself in the foot.
no, that's good. You clear away what, like, to sort of get the definitive edges of the alcove, almost able to see the entrance and all the walls, and confirm that it is just an archway that seems to. And actually, Dante, just based off, if you imagine, you can almost see the curving where the ceiling of the archway becomes the back wall. You don't think this is very deep. Maximum 5 feet. And almost like gives you a quick flash of, like, not any specific church, but if you like classically in a church where there's sort of small little alcoves with a bench that you might just be able to sit back away from the room in. It's that sort of vibe. And as you continue to burn away, you eventually start to reveal, like, not like a full-blown statue, but almost like a relief. A half merging from the wall depiction of a woman with long hair, kneeling down and hands raised as if less praying, more pleading.
Recognize her, religious.
As you start to burn away and sort of clear the features and the face, everything about her before you cleared the face was sort of screaming lyrics to you. And as you clear the face, the features are heavily distorted. And it's almost like the eyes and the mouth and the nose are, if you imagine someone clayed it and then like pushed this side and pulled the jaw down and pulled the mouth and eyes, and it's almost like the face has been widened and distorted into this almost abject, fearful look. Dante, drop me both a religion and a perception, please. Actually, I'm going to say you can use your investigation. I'm feeling nice today.
Thank you. You were on that one on it. So 19 on the investigation and religion, you said? Advantage at all or no?
For this one, no, still sorry.
That's cool. I just ask every time.
Yeah, no, it's worth asking.
Religion 11.
Okay, and the investigation, sorry.
19.
Okay. So, religion-wise, you sort of check off any sort of things that you've seen in churches or any other such things. And at first, you're not getting, like, it's like nothing. You're like, oh, maybe I was wrong. It doesn't really, it's not screaming any sort of religious context or iconography at you or any other such thing like that. But there's one. And actually, it almost comes forward in your mind the same way things used to when Tenebris used to speak to you, but you know it's not that. It's almost just your mind thought of something, and it's like that. It brought you back to that to a time like that time almost. And there was a time that Tenebris was researching something. You don't know the details of what, but he was in some sort of mage's library or some other such thing, looting and burning. And obviously, as always, the plan was they were going to burn the entire building down afterwards anyway, so he wasn't being careful about it. One of them had like an idol, like a properly full made statue of that exact pose. And again, in the haze, and at the time it was just a kneeling woman with long hair, but now that you're sort of have this relief in front of you, you definitely think one interesting now to you that a mage had just an idol of Larixa. Maybe not, as you know, some of them still sort of have that sort of following, but also it almost seems like this is a copy attempt of that. And actually, as you're sort of moving around, the bits of it that are stone, and this is where your investigation kicks in, you suddenly pull back with the fire, as for a second, you think you can hear a soft, like, small vibrating, as if something is flittering its wings. And all of a sudden, the holes in the face start to look like a hive in a tree. Not that they change shape, but it just gives, it's like, if that wasn't stone, it looks like the sort of hole in a tree that a creature might have dug out and made its nest. And Dante, the hearing, there is definitely something that's definitely not aware of you at the minute, thanks to your very high stealth. And doesn't seem to be connected enough, like in the past where you've killed a corrupting creature or whatever and they've all known, you don't think the walls must be that. Like, it doesn't seem aware of you at all if you're being quiet.
Mm.
What would you like to do?
How deep is this, like, statue? Like, if something's buried into it, are we talking that I just have to kind of gently kind of be like, oh yeah? Or is it something that's into it?
It's
So
a relief
No,
on the
but it-
wall. It's like a
Yeah, so
mural.
yeah, almost like a 3D painting. So they've
Yeah.
brought it out from the wall in the sense of like it bulges at the face and
Yeah.
stuff, but it's still just a painting on the wall. So you're almost thinking you couldn't look past, but behind that alcove,
There's something.
there's something.
something behind the alcove. I will step back, walk the path that I pretty much walk up. Well, actually, what I'll do is I'm going to still walk my way back, but maybe 5 foot to the side, so I'm just burning off an additional slightly thicker path where I've come so far, and walk back to Eleni.
Okay, I would gather the rope as he comes in.
It was a praying woman, a distorted face. I thought it was Larixa, but something else. I think something's behind that alcove. Something. It didn't know I was there, but I think that was just because we were being careful.
What kind of something? Like maybe one of the zombies, or
I mean, if I was to describe it, it would almost be like a hive in a tree.
So was
And
it
something-
buzzing?
Couldn't.
I would
Didn't-
say less buzzing and more. You know that it's not a click, but the weird click when crickets and such put wings back together. It was like
Daddy
that
long
sort of
legs.
that sort of shift. Well, I've never heard of that long legs make a noise. I would shit myself
Big,
if
big,
one did.
big click. They make a clicky noise.
No, never,
I
never
always
heard.
thought that was just them hitting the wall.
I thought they did. I thought they make
No,
a
I don't
clicky
know.
noise.
I've never
I'm
heard
not
of them
saying-
make
I'm
a
not
noise,
saying-
but no, I don't know for sure. I don't know. I just
Liam's
it
now going to
upset-
freak.
it
Liam's gonna
it-
be freaking out tonight when he
We
hears.
now all know what to do if we're ever DMing and Liam is playing. Is have
Oh,
monsters that are like Daddy
that's
long
fine.
legs.
It's not like they can, like I've said before, they can live quietly in the corner. At the point it starts clicking at me and like summoning me like a waiter, I think I'm going to take issue. But yeah,
No.
so you would be, as you're sort of saying this, Anya again would say, if I was right about that one, I think there are 4 more. And she will again sort of point directly across and then almost other side. If you imagine, so it's 70 long. These are at the 20 and the 50 mark. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm wondering though. I mean, obviously we need to be really careful, right? If there's something behind the walls,
There might be more, is my sense.
I wonder if we should.
And when
You
I
said
walked
there
over,
was like a line that was
when I
going
walked
across.
over, it started to feel tighter and heavier. Didn't change, but it's just a feeling I had.
What if you walked the line that you said seemed to go across over towards the other alcove on the other side? And then we can make a decision about, is there a way of switching off whatever this heaviness magical effect is?
What's the woman or the person we're with's name?
Anya.
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 She's another like a scout ranger.
Mm-hmm.
Why? How did you think? What did you think this was? You
What do you mean? What do you mean?
You said, if you're right, there's 4 more. And
Oh,
you
I mean, I thought the alcove was there because of the shadow. I am seeing similar signs of that directly across, further up. And I'd say, Dante, now you've been close. If you again, you know, like in old cottages where the walls are just a bit wonky. To you at first, it just looked like that. But actually, now you look, it's almost like, no, that's straight wall, straight wall, straight wall. It gets really wonky there. Straight wall, straight, real straight. It gets really, and now that she's pointing it out to you, you think you can see the 4 alcoves.
I want to burn off pretty much everything I can in this room except for the alcoves.
Okay, so you want to start where do you want to start? Like, because there's nothing on the floor, it's just the walls. So you can either literally start at the doorway and go round, or go towards a carving or such that Anya's pointing out, or
I'm gonna. I'll just voice that. I think I'm going to burn off everything but the alcoves first.
Okay.
We don't want any other surprises coming through.
I would suggest we don't touch that statue either, if that's where we think those
I agree.
lines are going to.
And then I want us to be careful as we're going across.
to be clear, lines aren't going to the alcove. Lines are going 15 foot up the wall into the side of the wall. The alcoves are at the 20-foot mark.
Sorry, say that all again, because there's lots of numbers there, which I'll.
Sorry, so the alcoves are at the 20 foot. The first set of alcoves are at the 20-foot mark.
Yep.
The line in the floor was on the 15-foot mark. It's like 5 foot before that alcove that it seems to touch the wall left and right.
Is it going like left to right or up and down? So like.
I mean, do you want to full follow it? Because obviously you sort of did like a cool. I've seen those. Like, do you want to like fully just like finger it, like fully follow it? Like
A little bit, yeah. Because I mean, I'm burning off everything, so I'd like to see whilst I'm doing it if I can do that. But again, I will just be investigating for traps.
Okay, so drop me an investigation.
don't really want to do this roll because I feel like I've had my luck starting to wane. 25.
Natural one.
25.
Okay. Luck's still holding. So you begin to follow, and you like following along. So you are right. The two that go left and right, they basically go all the way to the wall. But then what you notice is as you're getting to like where the wall meets the floor, if you imagine just around like at the skirting board, as well as going in and up the wall, and you can see the circuitry sort of lining the wall, it also goes that way to the left and further into the room a lot, but along the wall's edge, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So would you like to clear up the wall and see what it's leading to, or do you want to follow further into the room?
As long as it's not
along
into an alcove, then yes.
Which one, sorry?
Go up the wall. I'm happy
Yeah,
for it to
so-
go up the wall as long as it doesn't go into an alcove.
Okay, so you feel like the rope, like taut, like obviously you're sort of keeping that tension to know that everything is not touching the floor, and
Still
you
got
have to, you have to like adjust a little bit as you're almost like crouching down to not, get lower down, and the faint hiss that you've been hearing as you sort of get up the wall and start uncovering the bits of the circuitry that have now covered with corruption. For a second, as your hand's moving up, there's like a heartbeat, like it on the wall, before it fades beneath the blue flames. And again, you're almost feeling like for a second you're catching the feeling of the corruption before it burns away before the blue flames. And as you sort of uncovering, you start to see symbols of prayer and worship, but they seem, it's like hand carved, like somebody came here with a rock and scratched it in. And Dante, you start to uncover more and more, and it looks like Orcish, Dwarvish, Common, like all different languages. And as you clear more and more away, the corruption almost twitches slightly, and as you get higher up, there is like a ripple, and all of you hear not like attack style vibrating, but there's almost more chittering from the wall.
What are my maths doing right now?
They don't feel like they're like panicked in any other way other than just like they're on edge in the same way as you have been the whole time you're down here.
There's also no like recognition of this is an insect that they know, or
No, nothing like that.
Okay.
Based on, can I do any kind of nature or arcana or whatever to think what creatures would?
Give me an arcana and you get your advantage on this.
Okay. One was 16. Yeah, well, 16. Oh, Jesus Christ. Fucking
So
cat.
I don't have to do any horror this week because the cat's got me there. The cat's a paid actor. He'll get his tin of tuna later, don't you worry.
I'm even being a good player. Like,
almost Dante, when you hear that sound, you freeze. Like it freezes the room. As you sort of like maybe thought you'd set something off, stepped on something, but you're being so careful and deliberate. With the 16, the only things that you're sort of thinking, besides obvious, just straight up insects, and the thing that makes you think not insect is the large spaces where it does pause. There are some fae with wings that the wings are large enough that they make more of a tap sound rather than a flutter when they are tucked and hit and moved.
Are we thinking Pixie?
For Dante, that thought in the back of your mind of maybe Pixie, and for Volu, that sound is normally one for you of excitement. That's the sound that you hear as the Pixies descend on the groves around Tanabori's home, but it's tainted. It gives you a weird chill at the pit of your stomach. And as you close to touch further, Dante, and move further from the spot that you're in, that's where we're going to pause on part 1 of this episode. Thank you very much for joining. As always, thank you very much for playing. If you're enjoying so far and want to see what happens next, hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you know when the videos are coming out. And as always, roll well. Bye.
This is the end of part 1. Part 2 airs Sunday 7 PM GMT, or will be linked in the top right of your screen now. Thank you for watching, and roll well.